I know that. We're not supposed to be here. What the you mean I don't like waffles?
What up, world? It's me, Andre X, your host of Where Are We podcast. I am here with the guy behind the wall. We have the Phantom, Fabio in the building. And we also have a very special guest. This guy, one of our day ones from when we first started our studios. This guy has showed us the way and path of doing things. He's also been teaching a lot of other people on how to proceed with their podcasts and dreams. Let's give a big, huge shout out to Mike from Turntable Teachers!
Thank you for that introduction.
Yeah,
that
man.
was fantastic. Thank you so much.
That was freestyle too.
I could tell.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Thank you so much.
That's what I do.
No, and before we start, big shout out to you guys because you guys helped give me a space when I needed it. This was 2022, and SK was always engineering my sessions when I was over at Nowhere, and just the hospitality you guys showed me at that time was incredible, and I just really appreciate that. It helped kind of get back my confidence and catapulted me to sort of the direction I'm in now. So I that's a big thing I like to say to people is, don't forget where you came from, so to speak, right? Or and the people that helped you along the way, and you guys were very integral in that time for me. So
yeah, man, it's funny. It's funny. Me and I appreciate that. Me and the guy behind the wall, we're talking about how important relationships are, and we're also talking about having a relationship with yourself first, right? And sometimes, like, as me and the guy behind the wall we're talking about, we fall in like this place of like we need to please others, and then we get stuck in that so long that we forget about ourselves. That's when the depression comes. That's when we're always tired. That's when the mood swings come. That's when we want to vent, we vent by giving you attitude or like, well, however it is, and it's not just us. Like, this happens to a lot of either people or I want to say men, because a lot of men go through this, right? But I feel like the relationships are really strong, and they're healthy as long as, like, for us, relationships can't be transactional.
No,
we need to have like conversations with people, and
of course,
and we need to like not depend on people, right? It's like we just want to know people, and that's the point of my show. Is like, I mean, our show is like we want to make sure that we get to know who the person is instead of like what they do. Like what like you just said, like the struggles and how we get there. Like, that's important because your life is your life, but the struggle can be the same for everybody. It just looks different. You know what I mean? Because we all struggle to get somewhere. So that's the same part, but how to get there might be very different and unique, and that's what we want to talk about today.
Yeah, for
Start
sure.
from family to regular relationships to work relationships to just growing as a man and a teacher, right?
Yeah.
But you know how it is. First 5 minutes of the show, what we do? We gonna roll the fuck up. So everybody, leave your girl at home. Put your finger right here, Mike, real quick. Subscribe, motherfuckers. Subscribe. Roll up. 1, 2, 3. Go, bitch. Yeah, man. So we did talk about earlier. Me and the guy behind the wall were talking about you being a teacher.
Yeah.
And it's as a teacher, we deal with a lot of stress from different personalities, and depending on what age group you're teaching. How do you deal with like your stress? Like, what's your like go-to vice thing? Like, are you a coffee drinker? Do you need a blunt in the morning? And we can bleep the blunt part out.
No, you're good. Honestly, yeah, one of the biggest things for me in terms of dealing with my stress is, well, one, what you're doing right now with the rolling up. I do indulge from time to time in the greens. He just rolls it.
He doesn't smoke it. He just rolls it.
I just roll it. I don't smoke it. I just enjoy that. No, I'm only kidding. I do indulge that a little bit, but outside of like that being the vice, I think the biggest thing for me is just managing my own time, that like the things I like to do or that are important to me. So like, recently a big thing has been just like investing in my health, like just going to the gym is a huge stress reliever for me, and that was one of those things where like was always a hard thing for me to do after a long day, to actually get myself there. But it's one of those things, once you're there, and you kind of make the best of it. And then honestly, man, it's just like unplugging and watching TV with my girl or spending time with her has been like a huge thing, and she's like my biggest supporter ever. My shout out to Carissa, my soon-to-be wife, and
congrats, man.
Thank you. Yeah, about like.
Does she know that? Does she know that?
Does she know what?
That she's about to be your wife?
Oh, she knows. Oh, she's aware. She's wanted it for quite a while, and it's finally happening. I mean, not that I haven't either, but
Did you ever give? You're a teacher, right?
I actually, so I quit about a year ago.
Okay.
I'm not teaching. Well, I still work actually right here in Salem. I work for Leap, which is an after-school program, nonprofit. They do like enrichment programs for middle school kids. So I work for them twice a week, and then I'm over under the same umbrella. It's called Dream More. There's also an after-school program in Lynn, so I do that twice a week. So I'm still kind of teaching, but like not in the, I guess, traditional ways that I was. But I did leave my day-to-day teaching job in June of last year, so I'm about a year out from like the I guess the traditional 9 to 5, so to speak. And the goal long term is to do programming and after-school program and education and higher enrichment or higher learning at our studio. That's like one of our big goals at sort of long term. But so to kind of continue like doing the teaching that I've done, but still like do it in a way that is more like, I guess, true to me and more in the way that I want to do it, I guess is the best way to put it, without all, I guess, the stress and headaches of, maybe a normal day-to-day education job. So, that's kind of the long-term goal. But right now, still working with some of these middle school kids and with after-school programming is it's a different type of teaching. It's different than what I was doing, but it's still been a good experience regardless, and it still is like in my wheelhouse.
It's crazy because like I was setting you up for a question and it just went the other way, so I was like, oh fuck it. Because I was gonna ask you like, how do you grade your fiance? Do you give her the D? Yeah!
You could say that.
Does she get an F? I get that. No, what's it like? What's it like being a fiance and like, because like a lot of people like the image of marriage, a lot of people get destroyed by their own parents sometimes.
Oh my God, this is a great question.
Because of the examples around them. Like me, I've never seen anyone happily married.
Really?
I don't know any, and if they're happily married, somewhere along the line, something happens. It's like, wow, it was a facade the whole time.
Yeah.
And so like those are the examples I'm getting, and I'm just
Right.
like, I'm not trying to reference that as my own relationship, but I'm also trying to stay away from all that stuff that like people think you have to do. Like, you have to get married? No. Just to say you love this person? I'm telling you I love you. I show you I love you. I have to get married to you? But like, somewhere inside, I feel like if I get married, it's because I want to fulfill that for the person I'm with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I say
because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're my wife or not. I'm gonna treat you the same.
100%,
I'm gonna treat you like my queen, regardless.
Well, I tell her that all the time. It's like, we're gonna get married in August, and I'm very excited now. Like, but we say that all the time. Like, nothing really realistically should change. Like, we should still treat each other the exact same way we always have. And I think that's the biggest thing. Where like over the last 6 years, like, our relationship has gotten just stronger. Like, I feel like I'm happier in our relationship now than I ever have been. And that's like,
is it because you quit your job?
No, it's not. It has nothing to do with that, honestly. It's honestly, well, I guess actually, you know what? Partly because I think
because you get to do what you want without the stress of having to do what you don't want in a way.
Yeah, it's that. But I think the biggest thing too of it is like her support in me of doing that. Like, she could have easily very much have been like, this doesn't make sense financially for our future, but she's looking at it like, no, this is what makes him happy. And so like, why am I going to hold him back from that? Like, from the start, she's been like, this is what you want to do, go do it.
Yeah, they always say happy wife, happy life, but it's not true, man. If you can, because men are very simple. Men, when they're happy, they'll do anything for you to be so you can feel the same way they feel.
Absolutely.
So
she knows that.
And I'm not saying that it has to go one way first, but in the end of the day, like, if we're doing the husband wife thing, like the roles, if there's roles in this thing, I feel like a happy man, or not even happy, peaceful, like non-stressed to a man can do a lot for the family.
Oh,
and vice versa. A non-stressful wife, oh my God, never mind. Like, your world is right, but it's.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing, right? We take the time to make sure that like when one of us is stressed or both of us is stressed, that we like help each other out through that time, and not judge each other and support each other in those moments. And one thing you had mentioned earlier that I actually want to circle back on that's important, I think, for the context of all this is like, you're right. Like, I didn't want to get married, like, for the longest time. Like, it really wasn't until I started being with her for a few years that I truly wanted to. But a lot of it stemmed from I come from a family of divorce. Like, my parents were divorced, like, when I was around 10, or separated when they were 10. But they didn't actually get, like, physically divorced or whatever, legally divorced until I was 16. So it took 6 years. It was a really long, I won't get into the whole nitty gritty of it, but it was not a good, like, they wasn't an amicable divorce. It was very rough, and it, took a toll on me and my brothers, and and I guess both my parents to a degree. But
do you think do you think it's rough? Do you think it was rough because one of them wanted to stay with each other and the other one didn't?
No, they weren't right for each other. That's just what it is. They should not have been together. And in hindsight, it's obvious. But I think the biggest thing was ego got in the way.
Both sides?
So one side more than the other, for sure. But yes, I would say that there's definitely that. But
it's a hard demon in battle.
It is. And I think, when you're 10 and, between the ages of 10 and 14 is when most of this was kind of going down for me. I mean, it's hard to figure out navigate that, when one parent's saying black, when one other one's saying white. It's like, well, they both can't be right. Well, somebody's got to be.
Your house is racist.
No. I'm just using this as an example of, like, what they would say.
What I say? He said black and white.
Black and white in the context
I'm
of
kidding,
like,
I
this
show's black and white, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
But this episode, he has blue eyes. We're gonna make this shit blue. All right.
Thanks, Andre.
I got
appreciate that. Yeah, and I think that was more of what it was. And then it got to the point where, like, oh well, I found out who was lying and who wasn't, and and then that's when it gets a bit tricky. But I think and then being the oldest of three, like, a lot just naturally fell on my shoulders, which I think tends to happen in most cases in most families of divorce when there's multiple kids. Usually, the oldest will take a brunt of a lot of it in the interim. And I just think, like, it messed with my relationships and the way I looked at relationships. I think in my late teens, early 20s, and it made me jaded a little bit and not in a good way. And
I think that only happens though. If I can cut you off real quick.
No, please.
Sometimes I feel, and this is just perspective, I feel like it takes a long time for us to see the bad things as lessons instead of like,
I just had this conversation recently.
Instead of like seeing it as a bad experience, right? Like
yes.
Growing up, some people might see their parents cheat or whatever, and like and stuff like that. But like, what's the message and why people cheat? The reason why people cheat is because they're not satisfied with what they actually have. Because if they were, then they would never cheat.
Exactly.
Right. And so like that's the lesson I learned from, like, those kind of things. Like, when my friends would cheat or something like that, or I see someone cheat, I'm like, okay, why are you cheating? Are you not satisfied? Okay, you're not satisfied. Why are you staying? Because you're afraid to communicate with the person you love.
That's the biggest thing with any relationship is communication. Whether it's a relationship or even friendship.
I want to fuck other
business partner.
I want to be with you, but I also want to fuck other people. That's a conversation.
Yeah,
that's called an open relationship.
Yeah, and if that's a thing, and if that's what's best,
that's a conversation. Look, the thing is, people want the people they want, but they don't understand that the people they want don't want the same things they want. They have to find people that want the same things they want or can be on the same level that they're on. If you want to be a hoe, go find a hoe. If you want to be someone that's bisexual and dates girls and guys, then go find that person. If you want to be a person that only dates Mexicans with 10 kids, then be that person.
That's me.
Exactly.
That would be, quite the fetish if you only liked people that had 10 kids. And
yeah, man. That's a good segue. Speaking of fetishes, let's talk about Mission Dispensary. Listen, Mission Dispensary is my new fetish because I go there every week and get me a little 80 like this. These guys are hooking us up all the time. Every show, we want to give a big shout out to Mission. Go see them in Georgetown. Ask for SK. And back to the show. Yeah, so
I love Mission, actually. And I'm not
cool,
sponsored,
man.
but
yeah.
Hey.
Not Mission, you heard? Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, give us a call.
Yeah, Slapwoods. Oh, I don't have it on, but Slapwoods. My bad. Slapwoods was sponsored us for a show too, which is pretty cool. And
sweet.
shout out Heartbreak Mosa. We get a lot of like in and out sponsors here and there, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about, since we're there, let's talk about childhood, right?
Yeah.
What was your area? Where would you grow up?
I grew up in Danvers, which is like next town over from here, basically. Old Salem, as people like to call it. And
Danvers.
Yeah, Danvers. And yeah, I mean, I was in Saugus for like the first 5 years of my life. I remember a lot of that. And then yeah, like mostly was in Danvers from like the time I was 5 till I was about 18. Like I said, I was oldest of 3.
How many Dominicans you had? Yo, I'm gonna go buy some weed right now. Where's your favorite place to go buy weed?
Georgetown.
Where
Mission Dispensary.
Oh, Mission Dispensary. Oh, I heard about that.
That place is lit, bro. They got best deals.
Do
best
they have
prices.
do they have gummies and shit?
Yeah, they got gummies, flour,
Tinctures?
tinctures.
Oh, I like the tinctures. I put it like I wake up in the morning. I don't even brush my teeth. I go.
You gotta be careful with the tinctures though. Them things slap.
You ever put one in your eye?
No.
Oh, it says not to.
All right. Figured.
In your circle.
Dominicans.
In
oh,
Danvers.
God.
Let's hear.
I'll put it to you this way.
Zero.
Well, yeah, 0 is the right number, but I'll put you this way. When I graduated high school, I graduated with like, I think there were only 2 black kids in my entire graduating class.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. No, they were. I swear to God. And they were like very minimal. Like it's just very pasty white, just very, I mean, I guess I should say Caucasian, but like.
It's because Danvers has a lot of trees and the sun don't hit you guys.
Well, I was one of the darkest people in my graduating class, so that should tell you something that's a problem. Like, because I get pretty tan, like especially in the summertime. But that's neither here nor there. So like, growing up, I didn't grow up with a lot of diversity, and then for me, it was like, my family dynamic was probably one of the more, not interesting, but like, not as common as most of the people I was growing up with. Like, I grew up with a lot of people that had both parents in the household, and I mean, my mom did a good job, keeping us, out of trouble.
How many of them? How many of your siblings you have?
There's 3 of us in total. I got 2 younger brothers.
All boys. Wow.
All boys.
Shout out mom, man. That's
single mom, 3 boys.
And was your dad around?
Here and there. He was, then he wouldn't be. So that was the tricky part. With the dynamic of
what's a crazy perspective being raised by your mom is you learn how to love like your mom.
For sure.
And
for sure.
Learning to love like your mom means you're learning to love like a woman. Which didn't help me. Which can help you. Which can help you.
It's better for me now than it was then.
Yeah, it can help you or it can destroy you because you have to understand. You have to understand that part. I am being raised by a woman.
Yes.
So I need to understand
100%.
that not everything she's saying is from the perspective that I need to be hearing.
No, it's very true.
It is a perspective that is a true one because it's coming from there is women in this world. So
100%. And even times my dad was around, and I don't mean to shit talk him on it.
No, you're not.
It is what it is. But we weren't
we'll
that
give him credits in the end.
We weren't that.
Put his cash.
We don't
put
have
his cash app up.
Yeah. Yeah. We weren't that close. Like we didn't have, and he would take me to maybe sporting events or or whatever. Like it was very surface level, put it that way. We weren't we didn't talk, we didn't have deep conversations. So a lot of these things that you're talking about, how do you even approach a woman and how do you take a woman on it? Like none of that. Like none of the birds and the bees talk with him. Like it never happened. So
you ever asked?
It's like funny enough, I never felt comfortable enough to, and it was because of the dynamic that was present. So like my mom, but it's funny on the opposite end, like bro, we overshared in my house. Like I told her fucking everything almost.
Yeah, I told my mom the first day I had sex, I called her, Mom, I just did it. She goes, you're fucking crazy. I was 14. She's like, you're nuts.
But what's funny about that too, it's like, it's interesting because like my fiance now, like she sometimes thinks like, or not anymore, but like especially when we were first dating, like she's you're almost too close with your mom. But like I think she sees it now as like it was kind of a survival thing for both of us, right? Like she leaned on me in a lot of ways that
you're the oldest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like leaned on me in ways that maybe wasn't like, always the best for me long term, but like it was just necessary, you know what I mean? And we did what we had to do to survive, basically. And I'm not to say that like we lived in like absolute poverty or anything like that. My mom always we had food on the table, and it was always had clothes on our back. Like it was nothing like that.
You live in Danvers.
But yeah, exactly.
What we talk about.
Yeah, but there's nothing like that. But
even poor Danvers is rich.
Yeah, I would say so. But my mom was, in a lot of ways paycheck to paycheck. And so like, it was that type of thing.
She shows she's American.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say that was kind of it. And then, I just would really just immerse myself in, I was an athlete. So I just immersed myself in sports. That was like my way to cope with life at that time. And that's where I kind of put all my energy into. And, I would jump from friend group to friend group. I didn't have like a strong group of friends in high school. I really didn't find my people, I would say, till like college and afterwards.
Was sports your thing?
Yeah, that's what kind of kept me in sort of like a decent headspace, I would say. And music, honestly.
I'm always curious about like the paths the kids take and like the paths their parents could have taken.
Yeah.
Like if you, like I did this with one of my other guests named Wally, and I'm just curious. Do you know what your mom's dream was?
Yeah, she's trying to live it now. I mean, her dream was to be a writer, and she's starting to finally seek that out in her, you know, in the last phase of her life here, and like in her, you know, she just turned 60, and
It's a good age.
No, yeah, she's been writing for the last like 10 or 12 years now, more frequently.
Write books, or she just
Books, poetry, all that. Went back to school, got her MFA in writing, so
nice.
sort of that stuff. Yeah, I was in, I think she did that when I was in college or maybe high school. I can't remember, one of the two. But
how did you support her in that?
I mean,
Or
honestly,
like now, how are you supporting her now?
oh well, she's been going through some like hardships the last 10 years. So one big way is my brother and I, my brother Anthony and I, in 2019 we ended up buying a house together.
Nice.
And she moved in with us.
Perfect.
And the three of us just kind of took care of it
Roomies.
for as long as, yeah, but it kind of worked out because COVID hit like
You
right
guys are
around
like
that
Three's
time.
Company?
A little bit. And then my other brother, when he got back from college, he moved in with us, and now I'm not living there anymore.
Of course,
I'm
you guys are
I'm about to get married.
Yeah, you don't want to hear that in the house.
No, but
Mike, teach me. Mom's like, what the fuck are you? You guys studying still? What's going on? It's MMA, mom.
but it's been good. So like we support each other in just any way we can, whether it be financially, emotionally, spiritually,
That's
right, all that sort of
man.
stuff. And
That's beautiful. I would love
so
to do
it's been
that.
good.
I would love to do that. But my mom's very not judgmental, but she's very opinionated.
Oh yeah,
And
I mean my mom is too. Trust me. I mean I think anybody from that era of life is opinionated, and just as you get older naturally, I feel like that's the one thing I try to keep reminding myself is like always never stay complacent, always try to like offer a new perspective in my life.
Yeah, I feel like
Because
the older you
gets
get,
that-
but the
yeah.
thing is like our parents,
gets
right?
steadfast and
Sometimes they
something.
feel like they can't learn from us.
Oh, 100%.
I don't know why
I think that that's one of the things that
The ego thing.
Oh yeah, that's where the ego comes into play. It's
Yeah.
like I can't learn from my son or my daughter or whatever.
I learned
But
so much from my daughter. My daughter's 12. You don't have any kids, right?
I don't know.
So my daughter's 12, man. I learned so much from my daughter all the time. I work with kids for a living, so it's like
Yeah, of course.
I love that I work with kids. It keeps me hip. So like
Yeah.
not just I just don't learn from my daughter, but I learn from every kid. I learn all new things all the time. Like this, even the internet, like Twitch and all this other stuff. I didn't know about that stuff till like the kids were talking about it, Discord and all this other stuff. So I stay up to date because of the kids, and I learned so much from my kid, man.
That's what I love. That's what I loved about being a teacher and a coach
Yeah.
is that I felt like I got to learn.
What was
so
your
much.
what was your age range?
I was at the high school. I was at high schools
Oof.
mostly, so I was up in
That's tough.
anywhere from 14, 15 to 18.
What high school were you at?
I was at Everett for the first 2 years of my career at Everett High, and then I was at Andover High for the last 6.
Oh,
when
yeah?
I left. Yeah, so a little.
When did you leave
dual-
last year?
I left last year. Yeah.
Okay, my daughter's brother, his name is Julius Martinez.
I know Julius very well, actually. He
he's
was
a-
on the basketball team. I coached him for a little bit.
Yeah.
He's a good kid.
It's I raised him for like a couple years.
I know. I actually remember him telling me this,
Yeah?
actually. So I'm glad you brought this up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Julius is a good kid. No, I used to
going
see
to
him all the
college.
time.
Going to college.
Good for
playing ball.
Julius,
I think
heck yeah.
I think he's going to
He's playing football?
Leslie or something like that.
Is he going to play football?
I think yeah.
He's a good football player.
He better play. He better do something.
But
he just keeps getting. He keeps breaking limbs. That's the only problem. Like
Yeah, he was always hurt.
he's always hurt.
Yeah, he's
but
always hurt.
and he'll play hurt, and that's the
More
problem.
milk.
Yeah.
Needs more milk.
Yeah,
he's
he's
very
skinny
He's,
kid.
he's
He's
always
thin.
he's always
He's
been a
thin.
scrawny kid, but he eats like a motherfucker. So he eats.
He's a good kid.
Very tall
Shout out to
kid,
Julius
man.
if
Yeah,
you're listening.
Julius, man.
Big
That's my
shout out to
guy.
you,
Yeah,
bro.
I can't believe he's in college already.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I know. I remember when he was a freshman. When he was a
Bro,
little freshman.
I used to bathe him.
I'm sure you.
Like
Yeah.
that's how you know what I mean?
Allegedly.
like no, that's, like I was his dad for like he called me dad for a couple years. Yeah, I love that kid, man. Super good
Oh,
kid.
that's awesome.
Super respectful and
Yes.
very close to his mom, which is cool. Him and his mom were like roommates because she had him when she was like 16.
Oh no. Shit,
Like
I didn't know that.
very young, and they became more like friends growing up, which is awesome. Like that's his mom. She respects the hell out of him, and he respects the hell out of her.
Right.
But shout out to them, man.
Yeah.
The mother of my child just got a house with her fiance. Shout out them, and they're doing their thing, man. I'm very proud of them. I tell them all the time. I have a great relationship with both of them, and I keep it very cordial.
As you should. I think that that's the one thing I think I would think my parents probably regret at this point. Would be that.
because
And
you
so
miss time with the kids together.
It's that, but also just like because I have a couple of my friends that their parents got divorced a little bit later on, and like, you know, they're like one of my buddies who's getting married right after me, and you know, his parents are able to like be in the room together, and like it's not a problem and stuff like that. So it's just like for long term, for like, you know, if you're thinking about getting divorced, you have kids, all that stuff, like it's just like it's hard to think about that in the moment, but like you have to like think long term of like, okay, well, how are we gonna treat each other now? And how is it going to look like in 10, 20, 30 years when, you know, our kids start getting married, having kids, or whatever, or whatever their paths are, like to be in the same room, like and it makes it just much easier on everybody at that point if you can just try to be as cordial as you can with if the relationship doesn't work, you know. I mean, and that was the reason why I didn't want to get married, because I said I'd never want to get divorced. So I'm going into this with, I don't think anybody goes into getting married feeling like, you know, that they're not going to get no, I'm not going to get married if I'm not going to get divorced. Like it's impossible to think of that. It's the point, right? As everybody does that as the point, but
I mean, the point is to get married and not want to get divorced.
Sure, of course,
Yeah,
right?
that's
But truly, like I always said to
possibility.
myself, I'm not going to get married unless I know, like I have like 100% certainty. And as I sit here, I have 100% certainty.
Yeah,
and you know, I would have been happy if she didn't want to get married, but like it was important to her, and I love her that much that I'm like, yeah, you know what? If this is important to you, then of course. And I trust her with every fiber of my being. That's so dope. There's just we have that relationship where
Does
like
she have the code to your phone?
Yep, she does, and but she doesn't need it, and I don't need it for her.
Yeah, that's what you think, but
no, she doesn't.
No,
need
go
it.
to sleep. Go to sleep. Listen to me. You cannot even. You don't even have to cheat. They'll still go through your shit.
Yeah, but I'm telling you though,
just to go
she,
through it.
She doesn't. I'm telling you, like
she's
she really
Puerto
doesn't.
Rican. You said she was Puerto Rican.
No, I didn't say she's Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican. Puerto Rican. You said Puerto Rican.
I don't think I said that at all.
Oh, I think I was thinking it.
She's Greek,
Mexican,
man. And Italian.
She's Mexican
Greek,
and Italian.
Greek, Mexican, Italian.
That's two mafias.
Yeah.
And a gyro.
I
That's
know.
crazy.
I know. And dude, but I'm telling you, bro, she's
Gyros are Greek, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Oh, my bad. The camera
I think they're
guy's
pronounced
laughing.
Euros or something like that.
I
The
don't
G is apparently very silent, which I didn't.
My bad.
Like lasagna, but no, it's fine. I call it gyros too. So
My bad.
don't worry. Yeah, no, I mean, dude, it's like one of those things where it's like, you know, like today, like I can leave the house, be like, all right, I'll see you in a couple hours. And it's not even a question. She's like, all right, cool, we'll see you when you get back. And it's very
That's
much
awesome.
like, it's like, where are you? What are you doing? You know, where are we? Where I'm with Andre and the guy behind the wall. But no, it's one of those types of relationships, and it just makes everything so much easier. It really does.
I'm glad you're looking forward to it, bro.
I truly am.
Let's move on to other things we're looking forward to, man.
Yeah.
What's up with like your journey with the teaching, right?
Yeah.
What got you there? What made you want to teach? Like out of all the professions, it's not the highest paid. It's not but it is if. It's a job you take because it fulfills you
100%.
morally.
100%.
It's not a job that fulfills your pockets.
Yeah.
So
I think growing up how I did with being, you know, the oldest of three, I think just naturally my youngest brother is more so than my brother Anthony, but me and Mark are 5 years apart. And at that point, like, you know, he was just really young when my parents got divorced. So I think like naturally, you know, he leaned on me a lot. And so I got to teach him a lot, and it was fun. Like those years were like so fun, like because he wanted to do everything I did, and that was so cool. And I think and then I was doing some coaching at our rec league in Danvers when I was in high school, and I just felt like this weird calling to do it. And funny enough, the biggest thing that I was most into at that time was videography. I took a videography class for 4 years in high school, and I fell in love with it. But the one thing that was drawing me back a little bit from it was the inconsistency. And my whole life at that point had been just inconsistency. We moved around a lot. Obviously, I told you a little bit about my story, like just naturally earlier. So it's like I wanted something, even though it's not paid well, but you know, from that standpoint, it's consistent. And everyone that I knew that was a teacher or got into teaching was like, you know, it's every day is fresh, and you get to make these connections with kids. And like I'm a people person. I love making connections. I love talking to people. I love, you know, seeing other people succeed and making them feel good. Like it was just when I was coaching, it just when a kid would get it, would get the drill right. It was just so cool to see the kid, you know, light up. And
Were you
and
one of those
yeah.
coaches that like, yo, this is how you shoot a fucking free throw when you miss? Were you one of those?
No, I would say from time to time, but
My coach was
mostly-
like that.
Mostly, I was I can still shoot.
Yeah.
And if you know, you know. People that know,
I like
know. But yeah, I think that was the biggest thing, was just trying to, like you said, like, you know, make a difference in people's lives. And again, the biggest thing for me at that time, I was an insecure, not confident kid in high school for obviously all the reasons we talked about, and it was teachers who helped me get out of that out of my shell and like grow.
I got 50,000 basically.
What happened?
I finally showed up.
What?
At least you came in fly. Where you get that?
I was busy, dog. Check this out, man. Let me tell you a story, bro. Look, I went on this website, www.shopaug.com, right? I typed in this code, WAW, for a discount code, popped out with this shit, bro. You know what I mean?
So wait,
In the hood, they call me Papi Champú.
do I get a discount too?
Of course, WAW. Use the WAW. I didn't want to tell you guys because I'm selfish, but I'm telling you guys now.
That works
because
for everybody. Everybody can go ahead and just use
everybody can do it. If you're from Lawrence, Methuen, Haverhill, it don't matter where. You can be from Ipswich, you can be from Africa, you can be from Asia, you can be from anywhere. Just use WAW and they're gonna hook you up. I don't know why they're gonna hook you up, but I think it's because of the podcast. I didn't tell you guys, and I'm not getting paid. I promise. I'm not getting paid. I promise. And what I'm doing is, WAW's discount code.
That's what I'm saying.
And I was like, wow, I would love to do this for somebody else. And so that's, and I feel like even though I'm not doing it traditionally anymore, I did it for 8 years. I still have like great relationships with kids I either coached or taught. And that's been such a beautiful thing to like still be in contact with them. And for them to be
dope.
like, hey, you helped me through this, and this without even knowing it, you know? I need some of my teachers too. I told them, you know, when I was an adult, you know, years after they had me in class, like, hey, you did this for me. And they're like, I don't even remember that. And I'm like, well, it's like vivid for me. And I think that's
That's dope.
it goes beyond any sort of amount of money, as you know, that you can make from it, because, you know, that kid's never going to forget that. And selfishly, I wanted to do that for other people because it made me feel good too. And I think naturally I had a gift to do it, and again I think I'll always still do it in some capacity, even though I'm not a traditional teacher anymore. I think I'll still do it for the rest of my life.
What's one of the biggest struggles being a teacher, you think, for you? Like what's something you went through, you're like, oh my God?
I think the biggest thing would be, there's so many things I could say. One of the things I'll say though is
Because this is an
leadership.
example,
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
right? For example, like for me, sometimes the biggest like moment for me would be like I almost got fired moment, you know, like because of something I did that I thought was right, but bit me in the ass, you know, like something like that could really deteriorate someone from like, damn, should I keep going or not? You know what I mean?
Okay, so off that point, I think the biggest thing, well, I was going to say a couple other things, but I think this is the biggest one, is being able to separate that, like, and have that separation of like, okay, you can only do so much for those kids that are in front of you. Like, there's a natural, I think, want to be, I don't want to say be friends with them, but like almost go the extra mile. But sometimes, even if you're trying to do the right thing, sometimes, like as your point, like that extra mile can actually get you in trouble. So it's like knowing what the boundary is and like, okay, I should need to stop here and maybe either get other support, outside support to help this, or, you know, just for the sake of the boundary of the teacher, you know, student relationship that it should be, like, this is like where, this is the baseline. This is like kind of where we're stopping, you know?
And I think a lot of the problem is because like now, right? It's like before, the teachers were like part of the community.
Yeah.
So like they'd be your neighbor, they'd be the person
That's
down the
very
street,
good
right?
point,
And so
yeah.
like it's different. Like, oh yo, I'm gonna, if I see him walking in the rain, I live right. You know what I mean? Like it's different. Or if I see him in the street with someone he's not supposed to be, I'll say something.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not his parent, I'm his teacher. I'm still part of the tribe.
Well,
but now it's different. Now teachers aren't from the same. Well, I mean, from perspective, the teachers aren't from where you're from, and they don't look like you, and
which can be a good thing.
It can be a good thing, but it also,
I hear what you're saying.
it's a culture. It's culturally different sometimes, and sometimes the cultural difference is like it gets in the way of the communication.
And it eliminates that community aspect of it to a degree.
Right, and like
100%, which I
oh,
agree with.
like you don't. Like, oh, I'm gonna talk to your mom. Like, you don't even know my mom. You're like, you're never gonna, right? But like,
Exactly.
nigga, you know I know your mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is it's a good point.
It's
And
different when someone knows your mom and someone doesn't know your mom. You understand?
That is very, very good point. And I think one of the other things that, like the example, like you kind of started, and I'll finish it, where it's like, I think years and years ago, like, yeah, if you see a kid walking on the street and it's raining, teacher picks you up, drives you home, like no one would have batted an eye. And I feel like now, like you do that, and that parent might complain, like, oh, that he picked you up and he was in your car.
People
like,
did
oh
fuck
my
the
God.
aspect up though. People
and trust me, like, and I say this with any industry, right? There's, I say it whether it's nurses, cops, teachers, like, 90 to 95% of the people in those jobs are trying to do the right thing. It's that 5-10% that fuck it up and do the wrong shit. And I'm not naive to say that there are bad teachers out there. There are teachers with bad intentions.
There's bad cooks.
There's just bad people.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it is, right? But I think, allowing those situations and those moments to be like a reflection on like either the profession as a whole or whatever, I think like that's where it goes a little far, and I think that that's the society we live in these days. I think we're and not to go down this rabbit hole, but like, or bring up, get to this sort of level, but like it just happens, unfortunately. And now it's like, yeah, you are going to think twice to drive home a kid when you wouldn't have otherwise. Like, your intention is like, no, this kid needs a ride home, but you're like, well, what if we get in an accident and the parent sues me or thinks like something, any fucking, it's literally anything, right? So, or they just think it's uncomfortable or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that that's the biggest thing. And just
knowing
knowing
the boundary.
Yeah. And then I think the other thing too is knowing you want to save every kid, but knowing that you can't. And you can only do what you can in the confinements of the space you're in and the time you have with them. And then once they're gone out of your room, like, you just don't have any control over it.
Schooling is very, very intricate in the kids' lives if you're willing to be a present parent. If you're willing to be a parent that's like, okay, here's a program, get it done, and I'll come back in an hour and check on you. But like, that's
But then there's parents that are too present and they do everything for their kids.
Don't do everything. I'm saying like, be present.
No, and I agree with that. Like, but there's a balance because of like, like I said, I see it more in the suburbs when I was teaching than anything. But like, the parents that just like, do everything for their kids, and then they're not even self-sufficient. They can't even, they don't know how to do anything.
They make a grilled cheese.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, well, what are they learning at that point if you're just doing everything for them and sort of coddling them, and the helicopter parent, as they like to say, or is the term. But and then I think the biggest thing in education that needs to change is, and that I've noticed a lot in my 8 years is, and I had some good personnel that were, I'd say, leaders, but I think leadership's a huge factor in it. It's like you're at the mercy sometimes of a superintendent or a principal or a department head or whatever. And if you have to learn to work with all of these people, like, I think that's another thing that we're missing in this day and age of like this new generation coming up, where they think that if they don't get along with somebody, that they can just like bail out of that or leave or whatever, and
they can't learn from them.
Exactly. And you have to learn the skills and sets in order to like work with people you don't like, because that's just life. And I think that while that is a necessity, but unfortunately, like, it's becoming a profession, at least those where everyone's trying to go to the next stage of it. Where like, if you're a teacher, all right, you get your license to be a principal. Now you want to be an assistant principal. Now you want to be a principal. And
you level up.
And they bounce around. Versus these principals would, I mean, remember my principal was there for friggin' 10, 15, 20 years. Yeah. And I was at.
You know what's crazy? Growing up, my class almost every year, we were the people that never had consistent teachers.
Really?
My class. Yeah. My third grade class, my teacher had cancer. My fourth grade class, actually, that was my only consistent teacher. My fifth grade class was a teacher that wasn't there the year before. My sixth grade class actually was a consistent teacher. But my seventh grade class, the teacher that was there before wasn't there before. And we actually had 2 seventh grade teachers. And then the 8th grade teacher was the principal. And then she became principal, and then we had a different 8th grade teacher. So every year we never had consistency.
Yeah.
From second grade all the way up, actually.
Yeah, it's hard.
How important was it for you to? I mean, you might have talked about this, but to be that figure for that kid, because you probably went to school and you probably had your favorites. Where it's like you went back to school and you're like, this teacher helped me through this whole time. Like, how important was it for you to be that teacher for that student?
Oh yeah, wildly important. I think for me it was, I think the biggest thing I looked forward to when I was a teacher, like, making those connections with and changing those lives and being the person that I had at that age, you know what I mean? That helped me through those times when, again, like I said, when I was an insecure, honestly, looking back on it now, depressed teen that did not understand any of that, honestly, like didn't have even any sort of grasp on what was going through my own head. And I had a few teachers that could see through that, I thought I was doing a good job of hiding it, but sometimes you don't do as good of a job of hiding things as you think, and that was huge. And there was a couple kids that I over the years that I saw in that, one in particular who's actually, she just recently moved out to Oregon. A big shout out to Kim.
Kim, what up?
Kim, she's one of my first students at Everett, and she's the nicest, sweetest kid when she was a freshman, but I could tell something. She would linger in my room and want to make connections with me after school, and we'd talk music and like all that sort of stuff. And long story short, she was like deeply in the closet and just needed somebody to like make a connection with. And,
oh, that's cool.
And then I reconnected with her probably like 6 years after I had her. So that would have been maybe like 3 years ago, I'd say. And completely different person, a little more confident than she was. Like,
She's
cut
living
her hair, living her own. Yeah, exactly. And she would, and then she was, working with Z on music for years, literally at the studio, until she just left out to Oregon to be closer to her girlfriend who's out there. But like, it's just shit like that where it's like, and she messaged me. I didn't even recognize her because I was like, oh, this isn't the Kim I remember. But she just completely like, I remember her just when we went out to dinner and we're talking, and she's like, yeah, you just like, you created a safe space for me, even though you didn't know it.
And then she gave you daps.
Yeah, and then she gave me daps, and and then she was at the studio frequently, working on music, and and finding herself, continuing to find herself.
She was saying pause all the time.
Did it take you a while to like let that sink in?
Oh, 100%.
I'm assuming that's like the money's irrelevant at that case, because I mean teachers don't really make that much money, but the reason for that is just, I'm assuming mentally it was like, wow, like changing a kid's life is kind of like what, I guess, a firefighter or a police officer or someone saving someone's life.
Nurse, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
technically I want to say you helped her towards a different life, I guess, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not going to take full credit for it.
No,
she did the work.
But high school's a pivotal part in kids' lives.
Of course.
Whether you realize. Like,
how was high school for you?
I was with all the Dominicans.
Nice.
I was the only Mexican at the Dominican table.
He was having mango every breakfast. As soon as he walked into high school,
Yeah,
they brought their own food.
Yeah, I got chancletas and slaps in the back of the necks and
Chincletas. That's what you got?
Well, in Mexico we say it that way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Chincletas.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I can see it.
Well, it's a good question. Yeah, so that's just
Yeah.
one example, and like I've had other kids reach out. I mean, I let them, when they graduate, I let them, if they want to add me on Instagram and shit like that, they can. And I've had a few kids over the years that are, early 20s now reach out being like, hey, you really helped me through this or whatever, or, and it makes you obviously feel great. And, but that's not the reason why you do it. You don't do it for the money. You don't do it for the recognition. You do it because, like you said, morally, it's just the right thing to do. And,
That's crazy. That's a great segue to. This makes me feel good wearing Avant Ultra garments. I mean, I'm telling you, it's not about the money. It's not about anything. It's about the community we're building here. And AUG has it. They have whatever you need on their website right here, www.shopaug.com. Use our discount code WAW, and you're going to feel good just like we do right now. So that was amazing. I was thinking exactly what you were thinking. I also feel good. So I was like, fuck, why not feel good about the sponsors?
It's just the most natural way to drop that. It was that was incredible.
It was subconsciously something that was coming out.
I'm taking notes on how
I wasn't even trying to advertise. It was just said. You know what?
I appreciate that.
And I feel Avantly Ultra good. You know what I mean? Just to drop that in there. Let's talk about your podcast. I mean, podcasting has been growing all over the world. Like, of
course.
even the aspect of it's honestly, it's not even the aspect of podcasting anymore. It's really the streaming part. People can see people like give each other lessons and have their favorite artists on or whatever it is. You took your teaching into the podcasting. The name's right in it.
Yeah.
What is it? What did you actually? What aspect of teaching did you take with you to the podcast?
For me, it's the research thing. Like, I pride myself on, before the guest walks in the door, like whether I've met you once, never met you at all, or I've known you for years, like I'm gonna take the time to do research on you and give you an experience that is tailored to you and about you. And I think and just to know the person before they even walk in the door has been like the biggest thing for me, and just utilizing my skill set in that regard. So that's one of the things, and just being thorough and asking questions that are thought-provoking or things that are outside of them, as like how you're doing with me right now. It's like getting to know them as a person, making that connection. Like, I mean, I've had hundreds and thousands of students at this point, and and players, and it's just like, again, all about making those connections. So like, I think naturally I've had experience doing that, but it's like creating that space for my own show to like have people be able to share a little bit more about themselves than maybe they normally would, or maybe they weren't expecting to.
That's what we kind of like strive for too, try to get that thing out that they usually don't talk about.
It's the interest. It's what makes the episode interesting. It's it would suck if I was like, so like, what was the inspiration behind that album? And it's like, that's not a bad question to ask, but it's like, I'm gonna ask that every single time. It's like, I don't know. I don't say nobody cares, but like people, it's just such an over-asked question in music podcasting. So it's like, for me, it's, it's like less about that, and it's more about who you are. Who are you as a person that eventually like led you to like write about that, or inspired you in what life event did you go through that inspired that? Not so much of just like, well, you have this great track with this producer. And like, I do that from time to time, but it's like, it's more than that. We try to get a little deeper. And then the other thing was just the way I structure the show. Like, I kind of treat it a little bit like a class. We start with the objective, where we get to know a little bit about you and your background. That's the first segment. And then we go into the main lesson. What's going on with you these days? What are the highlight things that have been going on in your life? And then we do a pop quiz, where I ask them rapid fire questions about things I found about them that have nothing to do with music. And that's always the fun one.
2 left feet.
2 left feet. Yeah, exactly. And,
I have 2 left feet.
You do.
I have 2 left arms. I swim in circles. It's crazy. They call me Cyclone.
That's awesome.
At the beach. Cyclone.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's basically it. I mean, like, in a nutshell, it's just like, and then it just helped for branding. It's like I said, that's just who I am as a person, as being a teacher long term, and seeing that there was an angle there in some way to like marry the two, and it just kind of it worked, or it works, and now it's like I like you would talk a little off air. I think it was maybe off air about doing this because you love it, right? It's like, it's why it's like teaching. You do it because you love it. Same with the podcasting. You wouldn't do it if you didn't enjoy it. And I still enjoy it, but there's so many other things I'm doing these days, and it's been one of those things where it's like trying to look at myself as an entrepreneur now, and it's been a hard thing to like. It almost feels like I have like imposter syndrome, because it's like, and I fight that every day, because people like will say that to me, like, no, you're an entrepreneur now, and I'm like, I know, but like I never saw myself as that, so it's hard to like get in that headspace, but it's almost now at this point I'm getting better about just realizing like, no, the podcast has been the catalyst for all of these other business opportunities that I've had, and it's helped me grow so much as a person, and made all these connections and the networking and all that stuff.
I made way more connections, like even having a camera on my hands, like
oh my god,
compared to
it's
being
crazy.
I mean, maybe not compared to being an artist, because I made a lot of connections as an artist.
Of course, yeah.
But I've gotten into a lot more different doors because of the podcasting or the films, or even producing. Like being a producer has gotten me in different rooms too. So I think that's important. It's like holding on to the things that like can get us into like the doors we didn't think we can get in through, or didn't even have on our radars. Because sometimes opportunities come out of nowhere, and we just have to recognize those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, how we doing on time? All right, cool. Let's move on to our next segment, which is S.DOT. Shout out Big Blizz. Bah, 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 bah. This is sex, drugs, and other things. And on this segment of the episode, we talk about sex, drugs, or other things, and all we ask you to do is pick one and give us a story or a truth or a experience or. And if it's other things, we come up with the topic. But sex or drugs are obvious. You come up with
Right.
whatever
Okay. I'm gonna bring up. I think I've brought this up on a podcast before. Maybe I have or haven't. I don't think I have. The first time that I ever tripped on mushrooms.
All right, we're doing drugs. Let's
Tripped
go.
on drugs.
He's holding his finger like this, is waiting for it.
So this is actually a funny one.
This is
So,
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
sex, drugs, and other things is always subtitled in the bottom. It's gonna say allegedly.
So I have very strong opinions on psychedelics. I think they are. I don't know to get too far into it, but I think they're just grossly misunderstood.
What up, world? It's me, Andre X, the host of Where Are We podcast. I'm here with my guy Yanti with the Panties. We here to represent Mission Dispensary from Georgetown for sponsoring us for these shows. Go get your weed, your bud, your high, your gummies, your waxes, your drips, your dips, your daps in Mission Dispensary in Georgetown. Check them out. Look, they blessed me. What?
Whatever you need, they got it.
And I think it's starting to turn the corner a little bit. But in the research I've done and like what I know about them, it's very much like I said, misrepresented in culture and in the world and globally and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, I think the first time I'd done them, I was in a weird place in my life. I was kind of like in I'd say a transitional period of my life. And it was like right at the tail end of COVID, probably like 2021, 2022-ish. And
from human to superhuman.
Yeah. And I did a pretty substantial one. I think I did like, we call it a pretty good trip, like 3 grams or whatever the fuck it was.
Oh.
And
It's nice.
and
That's your first time?
It was my first time. Like doing something like that. Like I dabbled. I done like a little micro at like a show once that I thought was fun. But I really wanted to when the research I had done on it, it was like, you can really open up your mind creatively and all these different things. So I'm like, okay, let me do this. So I did this sort of like stereotypical thing where like I put on some like LED lights in my room and like put on Kid Cudi and inspected like that it was supposed to be like
hello.
the
That's exactly what you're
experience
supposed to
Man
do.
on the moon.
But it was funny because like as I was doing this, I'm like, I'm not getting much from this. So like I stopped, I turned the music off, I shut off the LED lights, and I sat on the windowsill and I was looking at this tree outside my window. And I just I had these weird thoughts about like the community that this tree was and the branches and how each branch is its own person and their own thing and its leaf, but it's going in one. And I was looking at these cars and I it was funny. I've never hated cars and sports more in my life than I was on that mushroom trip because I was looking at these cars and I'm like, oh my God, there's so many lining the streets. Like they're just polluting the world. And like sports, I was going back. I had this conversation.
The breakthrough is coming.
I go downstairs. I was at my house and at the time and I was going downstairs with my mom and I was like, I think I hate sports. And she's like, okay. She knew I was tripping. And she's like, all right, tell me more. And I'm like, I think sports is just a representation of it's been sort of this evolution of what gladiators were years and years and years ago, and like have we really even evolved at all as people? We still go to these. I mean, it's no more death with the gladiators as there once was with sports, but like we still like
they're dying in different ways.
Exactly, and we glorify this like it's like this, like we put this on this pedestal like this should be this thing. And I don't know, I'm probably not articulating this as well as I did in the moment, but I don't know, I feel like I came off of that feeling like it was right around the time where I felt like, okay, I think I need to quit coaching. And I wanted, because I
love shrooms,
and I did.
They just change your life.
And after that season, I quit coaching and I started pursuing more creative endeavors and like photography, videography, graphic design, sort of all these things that I had felt like I wanted to do or I dabbled in for a while, but like, no, you're not a creative guy. Like, you've been a sports guy, and so I think like that trip helped me to kind of close the chapter on my, what I like to say, my competitive era, and now I'm in my collaborative era. So
shrooms, yo. Let's
crazy.
do a couple snaps for shrooms, because shrooms change people's lives for the
Don't
good,
do them
like,
to just get fucked up though,
Yeah,
people. Like
no.
let's just please, like,
and don't get fucked up and then do them. That's different.
yeah, it's just not a good
Yeah,
mix.
it's not gonna go well
Just
for you.
not a good mix. Respect the drug, as my friend.
Here's a
Taylor
question
likes to
that
say.
everyone in the chat's asking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We have everyone in the chat is asking right now. Are your uncle? Where's Waldo? Have you found him?
Still looking.
Still looking.
I think he's in.
I've seen him on Tinder.
He's on page 28.
You saw him on Tinder?
He's on Tinder.
I didn't even know he was in the country.
He was behind another guy's picture.
Oh. All right. Well, you have to send me the link. I'm gonna have to download Tinder just to find him.
He was behind another guy's picture, and I was on Tinder.
Oh, okay. So, interesting. I missed that the first time.
Yeah, I couldn't find Waldo. I found him there, and then my whole life.
Do you have something you want to talk about? Like, tell us? Or
I'm going
this
through
is
a
safe.
transitional
this is
period.
A safe, yeah. Speaking of transitional periods, yeah. This is a safe
I'm
space.
looking for Waldo, but I'm not looking for Waldo's cock. And the thing is, I was going through. Anyways, yeah. So what's next for you? What's happening besides marriage? Actually, you know what? That's what's next for you. Let's keep it there. Where's the wedding gonna be? How much is the ticket? And who's DJing?
The DJ's name is DJ Tino.
Let's go.
We're having our wedding in Aruba.
This nigga got money.
Me? Nah, I don't. Nah, it ain't me.
Well, shut up.
My big, my in-laws are taking care of it, which is I'm very blessed for that.
Okay.
And, they're taking. It's just awesome. And yeah, so be like 75 of us in Aruba. August.
75 of you in Aruba.
Yep, it's gonna be great. We're really excited about it. And yeah, I think I always wanted my dream if I was gonna get married.
Is everyone gonna show up there looking like the guy behind the wall, and then when they leave, they're gonna look like me because of the tans that are gonna happen?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I can't.
100%. It's gonna be hot. But I'm excited.
Have you been to Aruba before? Is that why you chose it?
I have never been. Her family grew up going there frequently.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's a place that's like very meaningful for them, and for me, I always wanted to do a destination. If I was gonna get married, I always said I want to get married on a beach. Destination wedding was always my thing.
My secretary back when I was in Catholic school, the secretary of my job married into a royal family or something of Aruba.
Wow.
Back in the day, and
That's pretty cool.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's dope.
I think it was like, do they have presidents?
I have no idea about the politics in Aruba. I couldn't.
It was
tell you.
something. She married somebody. He owned the island or something, bro. He was.
It's not a big island, so I don't think. Yeah, I think if you own it, like, it's not out of the realm.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. But I'm glad for you, man. Aruba's gonna be nice.
It's gonna be
man.
great.
What kind of food do they have? Do you know?
Yeah, it's just your traditional. I think the choices were like filet and salmon and branzino, so it's like some seafood, surf and turf basically, and then a gelato bar for dessert.
Okay,
so looking forward to that. That'll be
nice.
good. And yeah, I guess there's great restaurants down there, and we're staying down there for honeymoon. We'll be down there for like 10 days in total. So
what kind of wedding is it gonna be? Is it gonna be Mexican, Italian, or is it gonna be, what are you, Polish?
I'm Italian.
I knew that.
Yeah, I'm mostly Italian, Portuguese as well.
I knew that too.
But honestly, on my end, dude, it's my mom, my two brothers, and a bunch of my friends and their significant others. That's the only people on my end that come out of.
You don't have cousins and shit?
I do, but just not close
They're
enough.
in the mafia?
A little. Hey, actually, funny you brought this up. I had
Shit,
this is actually a really funny story. I was teaching. I think I was in Andover, and I'm going through a lesson. Has nothing to do with this, by the way. Any questions? Kid raises his hand. Yes. So I was watching American Mob. I think it's called American Mob Story. And the number 3 mobster of all time, they said, was this man by the name of Little Nicky Scarfo. Are you related to him? And I was like, oh yeah, that's like my, distant relative or
he really
whatever
is?
the case. Yeah, swear to God.
Oh,
it is.
shit.
Yeah, 100%.
He's the real Where's Waldo. They're looking for him.
It's just, again, we weren't talking about mafia, had nothing to do with that. And like how serious I was, like the shock and look on not only this kid's face, but the whole class. It was like one of the most, in the moment it was a little awkward, but it was like, looking back, it's like the most hilarious situations.
When did he die?
He died in prison, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
You can look him up. He's like New Jersey, Philly. He's like the biggest mob boss, and like.
Did you have any connection to family, like still of those, not in the mafia, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
that,
One of my my dad has a story that
Oh, this is your dad's side of the family.
Yeah. Oh yeah, my dad's side. Yeah. He was going to get his license when he was like 16 or whatever, and they recognized his last name, Scarfo, and which is again like that's the mob boss name from Little Nicky, and I guess somebody at the DMV or whatever was at the time was working at work for the mob, and recognized his last name, was like, oh yeah, we'll give you your license, you don't even have to take the test, and he like was like, oh cool, and he goes home and tell my grandfather, and my grandfather was like, oh no, like you took a favor, and so had to like go back and be like, nope, like here's his license back, like he'll take the test, like he's not taking a favor, because that's how it would work. They'd give a kid a favor, and then they'd come back around
and tell the
few
parents
months later,
I fucking got your kid a license.
Say, hey, yeah, now I need a favor. I gave you I helped you out. Now you gotta help me out. That's how. So that's
Italians barter. You heard?
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, no, it's just gonna be nice and tight on my end in terms of like the amount of people. Pause. Yeah, sorry. I knew it right. Second I said it.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's just like 20 of my buddies and their significant others, and then yeah.
Nice,
and then
man.
For her, it's like mostly on her side is like family and shit like that. So yeah, it's gonna be great.
I can't wait, man. Bachelor party sponsored by, where are we?
I already had it actually. Burlington, Vermont was already.
Oh shit.
Already had it.
Oh my bad. What the fuck's in Burlington, Vermont?
Dog, we rented a really dope Airbnb, did a little bit of partying, axe throwing, like nothing crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not
partying.
Partying, yeah, like recreational partying.
Nice.
And I'm not a club guy, bro. And I think
you gotta bring the club to you. Bachelor party. The club comes to you.
That's just I don't know. I think the day and age, again, whatever. I'm not judging anybody that does it, but I'm just not like, I'm not the guy that's like, oh, let's go to Miami or Vegas. Like, that's just not me. I'd prefer to just be up in the woods and nature and immerse myself in a situation like that with close friends and just enjoy each other's company. I'm not.
I used to dance at bachelorette parties all the time.
I crashed a bachelorette party in New Orleans once. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you? It
was a good time.
Did you get some of that Baiju?
No, I didn't.
Did you get some of that blackened catfish?
They were from Montreal actually.
What
they were like random girls from Montreal. It was I
Why?
know I'm jumping around, but
Yeah. Okay.
it was strange.
I just watched something on the mayor of Toronto, some wild mayhem shit. Like he was doing crack, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not a crack." It was wild. It was really good, but that's a great segue to like our next sponsor, which is the hustler down the block. His name is Timmy. He sells crack. We're trying to get him off of selling crack and working for us here. But he's our sponsor. He sponsors us every week with, I can't tell you with what, but we'll cut this part out. Timmy, my bad. That's not even his name. His name is Jimmy. His name is Jimmy. Anyways, don't tell your uncle.
I won't.
And
I won't.
I had fun, man. This was really good.
This was great. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad the show went as smooth as it did. I'm sorry my other co-host isn't here.
No, it's all good.
He's doing his hair, and it takes a long time. He has long hair, and he's tall, and his barber's short. So they got to figure out a chair system that works for him.
That seems like a tough situation.
Yeah. I don't mean to put his business out there, but his barber has freckles, and you know what that means. But yeah, man, you enjoy the rest of your summer and your wedding.
Thanks so much.
And
appreciate you having me.
Send me pictures, and not the ones that I shouldn't receive.
Got you.
And lock your phone, man. She's looking. Peace, y'all.
Later.
Hello, everybody. Recording live from somewhere. Where the are we? I'm rolling up, you heard? It's raining! Woo! It's raining! Woo! We're not supposed to be here. I know that. We're not supposed to be here.